Hey, Katie, good to see you. Share everyone, please. And we'll invite everybody in. We'll get started in just a second. That's after I share with everyone. Twitter makes it so much more difficult now to share with you. I wonder if that's on purpose. Hey, Robin, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Glad that you're here. Everybody. Invite everybody, invite your followers. Came on a smidge early, but good morning. How are you? How are you? Good to see everybody. Hey, Blue Ivy, good to see you. Let me see if I can get my chat. There's the chat. Good morning, Nikolai. How are you? Good to see you. Okay. Hey, Lori, Gemini, Tree. Morning, Thursday, Miss Andrew Vaughn. Hey, Michael. Hey, both Michaels. Good morning, Thursday morning. Yes, yes, Thursday morning. Can you believe it? We've made it to Thursday somehow. It seems more like Friday, but it's Thursday. All right, I'm going to read a little bit of Psalm 28. So, all of you, don't freak out, and I will be right back to start the news. To you I will cry, O Lord, my rock. Do not be silent to me. At least if you are silent to me, I become like those who go down to the pit. Hear the voice of my supplications when I cry to you, when I lift up my hands toward your holy sanctuary. Amen. So hopefully that didn't scare too many people out of the room. Hey, Lori, good morning. Good to see you. All right. So let's get started. Let's see. This morning, starting out already, the Democrats are full steam ahead because they don't know what to do. And so they're trying everything that they possibly can do before the 2020 election comes up to get rid of President Trump. I mean, it's amazing. This morning, President Trump said in his tweet, "We can't beat him, so let's impeach him." And that was, he probably shouldn't have put quotes around that. I think he was just sort of saying, this is the way that, they feel about me. Hey, Kim. Hey, Renee. That's how they feel about me, but that's not really a quote. And so he was reamed for it by a couple of people on Twitter saying, "Oh, he never really said that." It's the gist of what it is. It's what they feel, they being the Democrats, they being Al Green, all in all. Hey, Carol, good to see you. And if you'll look underneath on this tweet from President Trump, look at this Bishop Talbert Swan. And he says, "Shut up, rapist." That sent me over the top this morning. I wrote him and reminded him about bearing false witness against your neighbors, a little something in the Bible, and also warned him, suggested to him that he might go back and reread that, and also reread the part about misleading God's people when you're a pastor, if he really is one. Unbelievable. Hey, Wayne, good morning. When good for all is been said. If you would, having my first cardiac cath tomorrow, please keep me in your prayers. Absolutely, Carol. Keep Carol in our prayers for tomorrow, having her first cardiac cath. It's a catheter, I guess, tomorrow. It's all just desperate. They look like they have no agenda. Well, they have an agenda. They certainly have an agenda, but it's one to get rid of the president, not one of their own. Right side audio is out on your end. I don't know what that means, but I think, can everybody hear me all right? Robin said, "What the crap? Shut up, rapist." I know, Robin. I mean, and from a guy who's pretending to be, I guess, a pastor, because you're not a true pastor if you talk like that. That's sinful, Carol said. Ben said, "Yes, no agenda." Another weird twist with my headphones. I can't hear you with only the right ear, but can with the left. Yeah, I'm not sure. Somebody else just said about the right earphone. I don't know why that is. Can hear you fine, Robin said. So I don't know if it's everybody else's equipment or whatever, but my mic is working. There is no kind of right and left. It's all, all the same. Robin said, "I can hear you fine." Alan said, "I can hear you fine." And so can Nikolai. So I think the majority of people can hear me fine. So we'll keep going with that. How's that? Okay. So President Trump, Again, what this does, well, Baal had preachers too. Exactly, Alan. Yes. Hey, Jonathan Porter, good to see you. Shalom. Um, this gives Nadler the ability to deem committee hearings as impeachment hearings. It allows the staff to question witnesses at those hearings for an hour after members conclude, gives the president's lawyers the ability to respond in writing to public testimony. And next week, starting on Tuesday, is probably going to be the first. Fine with the right, all is good. I don't know. So many false teachers out there, Robin said. Yeah. Yeah, Kim, most people are hearing me just fine on the right and left, so I don't know what that could be. Let me see if I'll adjust this. Does this make any difference for you? I put it right in the middle. Maybe that makes a difference. I have no idea. So, anyway, tell me if that's better. We need to have a march on Washington about the dim Congress wasting our money. Carol, we need to have a march on Congress about several things. Good morning, Monica. About AOC and her absolute, utter garbage rudeness yesterday to Tom Homan. I've never been so disgusted in my life. Her with her gavel. Oh, look at me! I'm the young Nancy. I'm taking over where Nancy left off. I mean, absolutely just despicable. Rude as she can be. Ilhan Omar, get out. Get out. Working here in Facebook, Heart Catheters Fun, been there, got the t-shirt, positive thoughts. Jim and I said to you, Carol. Sounds good listening and watching on Facebook. Blessings for all. Don said, thank you, Don. So President Trump's supposed to be in Baltimore today. There's supposed to be some protests. What else is new? Can they go and ever do anything positive? I don't think so. Pelosi's holding a news conference. No difference I can hear with the left earbud, so all is well. I don't know, Kim. I give up. So anyway, don't know why they can't just for once just go about their business. But I don't, with every president, every single time, there's got to be these protesters out there. They've got nothing better to do. I mean, that's the bottom line. Nothing better to do. Now, I don't know if, let's see, decided to change my prayer time to 6 to 7, Arizona for the month of September. Can't figure out how to sign up so I can see the chart. I just go back to SusanKnowles.com, go to signups, and you'll see it there, Jonathan. Here's the signups. Let me get it for you. Signups page is right there. SusanKnowles.com. You see the word signups there. You can just go there and just make all the corrections that you want. That'll be just fine. Now, also, I wrote an article today on my website, and this is about Ilhan Omar, and yesterday having the grieving son. What you're taking, Alyssa Milano is saying she suffers from mental illness and owns 2 guns. Well, Karen, let me just address that for 1 second. Let me go back over here and address that. In California, we have red flag laws. So if she did say that she suffers from mental illness, if that mental illness makes it her a threat to self and others, her guns can be taken away from her. If she has guns and she has children in the house, unlike the 2 that she aborted, those children can be taken away from her as well. Is that going to happen? Oh, no. They will never take guns away from celebrities unless it's, so totally clear that there's a problem. They're never going to take the children away from those people either. These people better stop messing with God's appointed. Yeah. God's anointed, God's appointed, Kim. They will learn, especially that pastor when he's standing in line on Judgment Day, because God does not take kindly to those type of things. All right, now let me go back here to this lovely lady, Ilhan Omar, the grieving son who stood up yesterday. I can't imagine his pain, and I feel so bad for his pain. But I tell you, I will be forever grateful, as I said in my article, for what he said yesterday about Ilhan Omar. And let's take a listen to that in case you missed it.
And my mother, Frances Harrows. Good morning, brothers and sisters in good faith. listen. Some people did something. I am here today to honor my 76-year-old mother, Frances, on the solemn 18th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. Mom, we all miss you and love you very much. This day I also remember over 200 personal friends and co-workers that I knew that died. I remember Virginia Fox, Warren Grifka, and Lou Avasano. And I remember your sons and your daughters, your parents and siblings, and all first responders. I remember them all, and pray with you for them today. Some people did something, said a freshman congresswoman from Minnesota, to support and justify the creation of CARE. Today I am here to respond to you exactly who did what to whom. Madam, objectively speaking, we know who and what was done. There is no uncertainty about that. Why your confusion? On that day, 19 Islamic terrorist members of Al-Qaeda killed over 3,000 people and caused billions of dollars of economic damage. Is that clear? But as to whom? I was attacked. Your relatives and friends were attacked. Our constitutional freedoms were attacked. And our nation's founding on Judeo-Christian principles were attacked. That's what some people did. Got that now? We are here today, Congresswoman, to tell you and the squad just who did what to whom. Show respect in honoring them, please. American patriotism in your position demand it. For God and country, amen.
I tell you, it was so great to see him get up and say that. And he was wearing a shirt, as you could see, it said some people did something. And of course, she had no comment. What can you say on something like that? What can you possibly come back with and justify what you said, even though she feels absolutely there was nothing wrong with it? I was so thrilled to watch this yesterday, made my whole day calling out evil, Jules said. I watched that, so glad he said that. What he did, Omar needs to get booted out, Robin said. The squad. Yeah, the Jezebel squad. Cully said, and AOC is in New York, of course. God bless that man. Michael said, yeah, absolutely. I think we should buy all the t-shirts. Some people said something. I really think we should and support him and what he's doing, because he was a good representative yesterday of America. He was respectful and bold. It was perfect. Jules said, yes, absolutely. Hey, Carmen, I saw you come in. Good to see you. Yeah, I really like that. I thought yesterday, the coverage was, it was okay. I mean, it was okay. We should be watching 9/11 films on 9/11, and it should be taught in high school at least. People who lost their lives, 3,000 innocent people who lost their lives that day, saying goodbye to their loved ones, absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah, let's buy the t-shirts. Well, if they have them, Carmen, I mean, if he has them, I don't know. We could make our own, I suppose, but so many t-shirts. Yes, that was awesome. Time to stand up against these liberals. Absolutely, Jonathan. And it's getting worse and worse as you have seen every day. Like I said, AOC yesterday felt emboldened and empowered to talk down to Tom Homan. That basically, and I hate to say this way, but I'm going to say it, she's not worthy of the dirt on the bottom of his shoes. She hasn't done anything to deserve how she treated him yesterday. Michael said he stood up for Americans that are actually for America, that Mr. Horace did. Like to see Rush do that with that t-shirt. I know, Cully, that would be great. Agree, showed my young kids footage so they understand. I believe that squad does have the Jezebel spirit, all of them. Absolutely. You better believe it, Monica. They really do. I'm convinced of it. Also, yesterday, as you probably know, the Supreme Court ruled in favor, for once, of the president. That says that those who pass through another country before getting to the United States will be ineligible to seek asylum in the United States if they don't first seek asylum in that, that country. So, for example, if they're coming through Mexico, they have to seek asylum in Mexico. If they try to come here, then they won't be allowed to seek asylum. Lori, she was rude to Tom Homan when he was talking. He was trying to finish a sentence, and she was basically just slamming down the gavel. Your time is up. I said your time is up. She was just, that's what, it looked like something that little dictators are made of. I feel we have turned the other cheek enough. Yes, Rick. Well, enough's enough. That's great. I just read that this morning. Nathan said, watch the movie, 102 Minutes That Changed America. How was that? I haven't seen that. And regardless of what you believe on 9/11 and who did what, the boils down to the fact that 3,000 people did die. So we can sit around all day and wonder, was it Bush administration? Was it the Saudis? Was it a combination? Was it just the terrorists? I don't really care. I know that there were 19 terrorists who absolutely did have something to do and directly with what happened on 9/11. AOC didn't want to hear the truth, shut him down. Exactly, Jules. Hey, Danielle, good to see you. So, again, tell your kids about 9/11. We lost our freedoms for the most part with the Patriot Act and the not the NSA, but the people at the airports, checking through our and having the DHS, all of that stuff. We lost our freedoms that day. It was a different world here before that day in 9/11, and our youth need to know that, because they have no idea. They weren't born they weren't alive, most of them, and if they were too small to know at that time what it was like. So you need to tell them, because they don't, TSA, yes, they don't have an idea of what freedom is like, what we know. The documentary of what happened on 9/11. Yeah. Where is that, Nathan? Is it just on YouTube, or is it on Netflix? I mean, I can't imagine Netflix would have it, but maybe it is. So anyway, the court said the administration could enforce the rule as litigation of the legality as it goes forward. So that issue on asylum and them having to go to the first country they come to and seek asylum is not over yet. But as you know, there was a district court judge, an appointee by Obama, of course, who the other day tried to make another nationwide ban on what Trump was trying to do. Supreme Court acted quickly and said, no, sorry, you can't do that, and we're going to go back to the Trump rule until all this is litigated. Janice said, lost of innocence. My children weren't born yet, and they know everything about 9/11, Robin said. Yeah. And they should, whatever is age appropriate that you can tell them. I have a doctor's appointment, Susan. I'll watch the rest later. Have a blessed day. Thank you, Karen. Have a great doctor's appointment. We'll see you soon. See you tomorrow. So yeah, never let anybody forget 9/11. Never let anybody forget Benghazi. Never let anybody forget how we were sending arms to terrorists in Syria. Okay, out of Benghazi. That's what happened. Go, Judicial Watch talks about it. Go look at Judicial Watch's video on that. Never let anybody forget, and don't let them erase history on that, on Syria, Benghazi, or 9/11. It's, something that I think we have to do generation to generation. Now, as you know, the other day, and I don't know why, I do know why, but I just, these people can't let it go about the Alabama thing, even though CNN said, and I listened to it, CNN said, Alabama could be impacted by Hurricane Dorian. Now, you would think it was a federal offense, that even if, let's just say, by chance, President Trump made a mistake, which he didn't, which I heard the reports, everybody else heard the reports. So let's just say he made a mistake. Okay, so he made a mistake. Can we just move on? Is this not a federal offense? Nobody, nobody should be punished for this event. You know, this instance of somebody either getting it wrong at the weather service, or getting it wrong with as the president, whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, this truly doesn't matter. This is so insignificant that I don't even get it. This is the what you're looking at is the Democratic lawmakers are ramping up requests for investigations into why officials at the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration reprimanded their own scientists for contradicting President Trump's tweet on Hurricane Dorian. President Trump Wednesday officially, something else. But again, does it really matter? Did was there a federal offense committed here? Was there? I just, my gosh. The government must always prepare for the worst regardless of statistics. Well, absolutely, island vibes. They won't let it go. They're desperate. I know, Renee, and it's so sad to look at it. Real Rhonda said they prove TDS exists. Yep. Everyone makes mistakes. They just hate him, so they will attack everything he says. Robin, I don't even think it was a mistake. I heard CNN. I listened to the video of that, and the guy was reporting about Hurricane Dorian coming in, and he said Alabama and Louisiana would be impacted by it. So, I mean, good Lord, whether people are wrong 90% of the time, Kim said. It wasn't just CNN, heard it on other news and called friend in Alabama. Didn't know POTUS said it too. I know, Monica. So all these people said it, was on different things, and now they're going to make a federal case out of it. Wow, I mean, that really shows you how screwed up everything is. Instead of looking into the important stuff, we're going to be looking at, did he say Alabama? Was he right? Did he put a marker on there and make it bigger? Who cares? Yeah, Daniel said yes with CNN. NOAA even came out and backed the president. Yes, Noel, that's why they're in trouble now, and that's why they want to investigate. I'll see if I can find it for you. Thanks, Nathan. But they will accuse him, not the weatherman. Exactly, Robin. I mean, sometimes you look at this and you want to laugh to not cry. But at the same time, it's so ridiculous that you're like, is this where our world, is this what we've come to? Yes, the answer is yes. All right, so now President Trump came out yesterday and he officially sent his pick of Eugene Scalia as Labor Secretary to the Senate. Sent that over to the Senate. Yeah, impeached for bad weather. There you go, Island Vibes. Hey, Pamela, what can we expect from tonight's dim debate? I have no idea, Adam. I don't waste my time. All we can expect is climate change, climate change, climate change. President Trump equals bad. We have the answers to the world, which is we're going to take away your guns. We're going to tell you how to eat. We're going to tell you how to live. We're going to control every aspect of your life. Does that about sum it up? Okay, so Nathan put up the link for the movie 102 Minutes That Changed America. Watch documentaries.com. Okay. Documentaries.com. Okay, thank you. I'm going to go check that out. I won't be listening. Robin said, is he the late Scalia's son? Yes, he is, Danielle. Climate Hoax Clown Show. That's right, Rick. I mean, that's all they have to talk about. And they will do whatever they need to do. Whatever you want to hear, they will promise you they're going to do it. So, he is going to, that's the official nominee, if you will. And this moves the process along to the, I guess it first goes to the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, and they'll consider him before moving it on to the full Senate. So whatever it is, I hope he gets in if he's the right person. Sounds like there's no reason not to let him in, so that's probably even more reason for the Democrats not to let him in. Are we allowed to ignore? Yes, Janice, of course. We can expect from the debate lies and more lies. That's it, Kim. I mean, that's in a nutshell. That's what you're going to get. Lie after lie after lie after lie. And once you know that, it becomes all the same type of rhetoric over and over and over again. We're close enough to the halfway point. If you want to go ahead and retweet, that would be great, to let other people know that we are here, and invite your followers. If you want to do that, please do. And we'll get started on the second half of our show. uh, oh, as you guys, I wanted to tell you guys, on Tuesday, as you know, we tried to do the show again of God's views on political news. The equipment over that Bill Cloud has, that it's the show comes out of his location in Tennessee. Their equipment basically had a total meltdown. I mean, as some of you may have heard a little bit of it, my voice changed. Green was on the screen. I mean, it was, I don't know what was going on, but it was amazingly bad. Also, at the same time, beholdisrael.com or .org tried to, no, she's not underneath Gracie. Gracie Laurie is in the other room right now on another bed. But anyway, beholdisrael.com trying to do a live from where their location was. And Amir Sarfati said he didn't know what happened, but his telephone absolutely just shut down. He goes, I don't know. I've never seen that happen before. So it was, I don't know. It was just very strange that all these things were happening at the same time. And they worked on it for a half an hour trying to get the equipment back up, and absolutely couldn't do it. So, for those of you, who are praying people, please pray for us, because I think that show is absolutely under attack. We have a lot of people who really like that show and want to see it, and we can't get it to them. So hopefully on Tuesday, everything will be okay. Daniel said, your voice was funny. Deep didn't sound like you. Yeah, that's because the equipment was shutting down, I guess, Danielle. I had someone on Twitter put me on a bot list, so I put them on my idiot list, Kim said. Cully said they're liarcrats. Yeah, liarcrats, that's a good name. I like that. It pretty much describes it. Still praying, I feel it was an attack from the enemy. It was just amazing, Robin, because everything that, we were supposed to do with the equipment, everything was done correctly, same as we always do. But as you've noticed, we have that show, we put it on Periscope, it freezes up all the time. It's just amazing. And again, there should be no reason. It's all happening. Yeah, it is, Carmen. It is all happening for sure. And we're going to, again, we're going to have different platforms, different ways to get things to you. So, do keep us in prayer. And I've also tried to bring you Terrence Williams over the last couple of weeks. Before, when I could go and I could just take a copy of what he was saying and put it on here for you to see, I can still do that, but you will not get any sound. And I have tried every way that I can think of to get his, voice on air, and I can't do it. And before, it was a piece of cake, and now it's completely gone. It's basically, I can't get anything from Facebook and put it on here and play it for you. So I'm trying to think of a workaround, and I just don't know how to do it. I'm trying everything. I could put his stuff on YouTube, but then I might get a copyright violation for putting his stuff on my channel on YouTube. And he doesn't put all of his stuff on YouTube. So, that's why we haven't seen Terrence Williams. And I love Terrence Williams, and I want to bring more of him, but I just can't. So Amir showed too, evil attacking. Evil is desperate right now. Evil is very desperate right now. And you can see it. You can feel it. It's like bubbling up all over the place. There is a tremendous effort to shut things down, whether that's figuratively, literally. That's what's going on. And it absolutely is. Okay. Now, in California, I don't know if you heard about this. So all of you who enjoy Uber and Lyft and that type of service, in California, the Democrat-led California legislature passed legislation on Wednesday that now requires that services like Uber and Lyft, the people that do the work, who drive you around in Uber, they are no longer going to be allowed to be seen as contractors. The California will have to have them be employees. That's going to ruin everything for the drivers who get tips, who get extra, from the people who just happen to like them. They're going to be less of them because they're not going to employ them because it'll eat into their profit too much. And of course, Uber and Lyft are mad because it will eat into their profit. I believe it will get worse before the presidential election, Janice said. Oh, Janice, I think we're going to see evil and desperation like we have never seen it before. I think we're just at the very beginnings of where this is going to go. Leave California, Danielle said. Wow, that's crazy, Kim said. Yeah, well, they just passed that about the vaccinations, the medical exemptions for the vaccinations. Then they passed that about Uber. There's also a law they passed in California that you can't send children home now who are being disruptive in class. So you know how before you could suspend them or send them home, send them out of the classroom when they're being disruptive? No longer. Why? Because it's the same social justice policy of Obama that we don't want. He claimed that it negatively impacted blacks and Hispanics more than anybody else, and they're just keeping it going. Yes, Ryan, I was getting ready to talk about that. Actually, we've already talked about that. We talked about them. I talked about that in the very beginning, Ryan. So you want to go back and hear the replay on that. True, I heard no punishment. Yep, no punishment. You can stay in class. You can drive the teacher crazy. You can prevent other people from learning. Let the bully kids take over the classroom. Why not, Robin? Doesn't that kind of go with the theme of what's going on? Yeah, it really does. I mean, I'm not surprised at all. But that's California. And again, they're just continuing the policies of Obama, the social justice policies. They're continuing those in California. Now, please keep praying for us in California. We are trying to recall the governor of California. It is an uphill battle. It is going to take a miracle. It really will. So if that's God's will, please pray for that miracle to get him out and try to, halfway turn this state around. I mean, I know it's an uphill battle, but somebody has to do it. Jonathan said the enemy knows his time is short, so now he will start to work overtime. But remember, all hope is not in this world, but in the Most High. Absolutely, Jonathan. What do you do with them? Another area to dumb down our children. Janice, you just let them sit in the classroom and, do what they do. I guess you could send them over to, I forget what they call it, like a little timeout place, but they have to be doing their work. They really can't be out of class that long. It'll be another issue. Make it do the moms have to come to the day after they act up. Yeah, well, that would be nice, Monica, but a lot of times they don't want the parents in class either. They don't want you seeing how the classroom is. I couldn't see chat, so I moved over here, Kim said. Oh, praying for California, Robin said. Yes, recall Gavin Newsom. Yeah, he needs to be recalled. He has everybody mad at him right now. He's got the mothers against and the parents and everybody else against the vaccinations. He's got people against him for the angel families. He's got a lot of people who don't like him now because he said one thing and he did another. But then we should have known that, right? He's a Democrat. Good morning, Margie. And I didn't vote for him. I certainly didn't vote for him. And unfortunately, who the Republicans ran, the two people they ran, one nobody even heard of, and while everybody's like, oh, he's young and he's so handsome, okay, well, that's great, but he didn't make a good candidate. And the other guy came from Chicago or someplace like that, rich guy, and he had a personality of an avocado, and I don't mean to insult the avocados, but so he didn't win. Trump helped North Carolina win big. Yep, Robert, he sure did. So anyway, just keep California in mind. We need all the help here that we can get. Now, the other day, I was listening to, this is Mark Morgan. He's the acting Border Patrol guy, commissioner. And he said the other day that, and I remember hearing him, saying that the Bahamians from Bahamians are not Bahamians, excuse me. Bahamians are coming in, and I think he said in the thousands, and that we're letting them in, and that the Trump administration is looking to let them come here on a temporary protective status. And, you and I were talking about this and how, that's not good, because every time they have somebody come here on a temporary status, they seem to just stay. They never go. It's always, oh, well, we're going to be here just for a little while. Temporarily, we're going to go back. And I think it was El Salvador we brought over, whatever, 12 years. And they're still here, and they're Haitians still fighting, wanting to stay. And it's like, and what happens typically is they allow them to stay because they've been here so long and gotten established. And so just the other day, they said the Trump administration has decided it will not grant temporary protected status. And what the temporary protective status would have allowed those from Bahamas to live and work in the United States temporarily until conditions are deemed safe for them to return to the island nation. Despite that, the people from Bahamas will still be allowed to come to the United States temporarily with the right travel documents. They just won't be granted work permits. And I know probably a lot of people aren't happy with that, but I'm happy with that. We can't continue to just allow people to come into our country. There are so many people coming in that we have to pay for. I know, Kim. They'll never leave. Well, like I said, the Trump administration has said no. We are not going to grant temporary status for people from Bahama. Funny what the liberals said after 2 losses in North Carolina, Cully said. Yeah, so I was glad to hear that the Trump administration said no, even though he thought that it was something that they, in the beginning, they were going to do. And he said no. When I've been to the Bahamas, they're always warned us to stay in certain places. Many are dangerous. Yep. Yeah, typically the tourist spots, you kind of gather together and you don't really go outside of that. And it's like, maybe it's not so great after all. Are the Bahamas under the United States? No, I don't think so. Not that I know of. Also, the number of firearm background checks conducted in August surged to 15% over both the previous month and the previous year, meaning that Americans are suddenly buying more guns, just as members of the 2020 Democratic field are prompting strict crackdowns on weapons purchases and even gun buyback confiscation programs. So thank you again to the Democrats, just like Obama did, for having people run out there and buy guns. When the more they talk about taking away the guns, the more people go out and buy guns. So thank you, Democrats, once again. Background checks done for security, concealed carry permits, and gun sales soared over the summer, making August the best month for gun sales since the National Shooting Sports Foundation began keeping track of how many individuals apply for a federal background check. So, all of these people who like Alyssa Milano. Now, this is something, I know she sat down and she met with Ted Cruz and everybody said everything was civil. And then, again, as we talked about it a minute ago, this woman said, Alyssa Milano said that she had mental health issues, I guess. Somebody said that she said that. I didn't hear her say it. Honestly, I didn't watch the interview. I can't stand Alyssa Milano, so I chose not to. And she said that she had 2 guns there. So, again, when you're talking about somebody like that, why is she so opposed to guns when she has her own guns? We must protect our voting system. That is my concern. Yes, Janice, absolutely. But it's these people who have guns who don't want everybody else to have guns, and she feels like she can have guns. Democrats are the best gun salespeople for the country, Cully said. Yes, absolutely. Just let them talk. Let, Robert Francis talk, and people will run out and buy all kinds of guns. Keep it up, Democrats. It's the only thing you can do well. Okay. This poor guy, Michael Flynn. Michael Flynn's lawyer said on Tuesday that former Deputy District Attorney Rod Rosenstein authorized Special Counsel Robert Mueller to investigate Flynn's son, Michael Flynn Jr. And so, of course, as before, there's speculation about, did he do what he did? Did he take a plea deal because of going after his son. Yeah, Robert said she needs to be red flagged. Yeah, she does, Robert. She really does. Flynn's lawyer said that in an interview with Fox with Sean Hannity while discussing developments in the case, she argued in federal court Tuesday that charges against the former national security advisor should be dismissed due to egregious misconduct. And she is standing strong behind that. She goes, we know that Mueller got a letter from Mr. Rosenstein that allowed him to target Michael Flynn, and there was significant pressure to enter a guilty plea while they were hiding all the evidence that showed he had not been an agent of Russia and that there were no Logan Act violations. I don't know why, the judge is still allowing this to go on. I mean, to me, it should be enough that the judge looks at this and goes, okay, you people did everything in the world that you could to make sure that this man, number one, pled guilty because you were coming after his son. For what? I mean, think about that. I mean, I'm hesitating here because I'm thinking about our own government being that deceptive, being, we have the Fourth Amendment, the Miranda rights and all that. They've, to me, in my mind, they violated all of that. Absolutely violated all of our constitutional protections right there with Flynn. And coerced him, if you will, into pleading guilty because of the fact that he was afraid for his son. Because they said, we're coming after your son. So he took the fall for his son. I mean, how horrible. How much worse can you get? They revealed in court the existence of a DOJ memo from January the 30th, 2017, which exonerated Flynn of any collusion with Russia. The memo has still not been made available to Flynn's attorneys as part of a litany of the Brady material. Now, the judge is obviously taking that Brady material potential violation very seriously. The judge said basically that I don't care if he had a plea agreement with you or anything else. This Brady material takes precedence over that. So if the judge finds out that this is true, there should be hell to pay. There should be prosecutorial hell to pay for the prosecutors. I mean, and this man should be exonerated completely by the courts. And if not, he should be pardoned by the President of the United States. That's all I can say. So anyway, we'll see what happens with that. I hope that this keeps going in his favor and they find out. I mean, look what they tried to do with Jerome Corsi, wanting him to basically, according to Jerome Corsi, lie and take a plea deal, admit to something that he didn't do. So this is not our country. This is not the principles of the Constitution of our country. This is not what people should do. We should not be allowing this, and it has to change. It absolutely has to change. Will it? I don't know, but it has to change. Now, last night, Devin Nunes was on Hannity, and he talked about the FISA applications and all that. So let me see if I can bring this up for you.
Judge in this case will actually get those witnesses that know this document exists and let them come in and talk to the court, or at least give an affidavit to the court.
Do you have any ambiguity on this simple, basic question? Because we expect any day, probably next week or no later than the week after. So I'm told that the Inspector General report on FISA abuse will be out. Do you have any doubt that he will conclude, based on what we already know, they were warned ahead of time, premeditated, about the dirty dossier, that it was political, it was unverified, and Christopher Steele has an agenda? They were warned multiple times, but they still used it as the bulk of information for the FISA applications, which, of course, we know were granted. And as McCabe said, no dossier, no FISA warrant. Do you think that those 4 FISA applications were obtained illegally, and the IG will agree with you, me, and Greg?
So just to remember, we were the ones that came out and exposed all this to the American people first, knowing that these were all a fraud because we knew that the dossier had been used. And I just ask people always just to take a step back and add a little bit of, just take a little bit of common sense approach to this. The dossier was so ridiculous that, you know, any small police department or a small county sheriff would be able to figure out that 90% of that dossier was fake within a matter of just a few days. So you know, at the time that Brennan is peddling it, the time that others are peddling it, they know it's fake.
Okay, the question is, were they obtained illegally, and will the IG see the truth in that and will have equal justice in this country?
So yes, of course they were obtained illegally and they defrauded the U.S. Greg Jarrett's talked a lot about it. But just to remember, the IG has a limited scope. What this is really about are building blocks. The Comey report, the IG report on the FISA abuse. This goes to Lindsey Graham and his committee, and ultimately goes to Durham and the U.S. Attorney.
Well, that's a great tease for our next segment, because Lindsey Graham's next. Will they find all 4 warrants obtained illegally? You only have 10 seconds, Greg.
Absolutely, and they were warned not once but 4 times that it was based on phony evidence, and they lied to the court. That's perjury, and it's also a fraud.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
So there you go. And also Devin Nunes said that his team of investigators knows a memo from the British government disavowing British ex-spy Christopher Steele, the author of the anti-Trump dossier, is real. So somebody better do something because people are sick and tired of a 2-tier justice system. Now, I want to play this for you for Nancy, and I want you to see how upset Nancy is. Let me start this again and show you. This was her yesterday upset. So here we go.
About not bringing the House back in August to keep the flame lit on gun violence.
Absolutely not. We did our job. The Senate was supposed to come back. Why don't you all get that straight? Okay. The Senate did not come back to pass the bill. I'm getting very angry about the silliness of these questions. Lives are at stake. Senator McConnell is standing in the way. We passed our bill in February. Members had events all over the country to ask him to bring up the bill. Don't ask me what we haven't done. We have done it. And if you are annoyed with my impatience, it's because people are dying, because Senator McConnell hasn't acted. Why don't you go ask him if he has any regrets for all the people who died because
Woo! So Nancy's just not too happy about being asked questions. It's silliness to her. And go ask McConnell. Time to take the fight to the enemy, Jonathan said. Daniel said, blah, blah. Snowflakes are being gaslighted so bad they are pushing impeachment today. Yes, Lori, we talked about that at the very beginning. Might want to watch the replay on that. They've got nothing else. They really don't have anything else. Cully said, any news on Roger Stone? Not a peep. Not a peep, Cully. As you know, he has a gag order against him. He can't say anything. Robin said it's past time to see justice. Steele needs to go to jail. He won't, Danielle. He's in the UK. He won't. Really? What a liar. Yeah. So Nancy, why doesn't she answer the question? Something to hide? Oh, Alan, no. Not Nancy. Of course not. Of course not. She's as pure as the driven snow. And that's why she gets so upset when anybody goes against her agenda. And I think, with Nancy, she's probably feeling a lot of pressure right now because here's Nadler moving ahead. Here are all the little, Jezebel squad wants her to move ahead with impeachment. And I think Nancy's probably had to go along with it because she sees her party doing it without her. I hope the donkey gets his donkey butt Trump so bad, Danielle said. Oh, I don't know. It's such a shame to watch all of this, to see all of this, to know that justice has not been served, to wonder, are we ever going to see justice served? Ever. It's just every day we sit and think, is today the day? Is today the report going to come out? And is it going to be something that these people are indicted for? Are they going to, Judicial Watch was talking about yesterday, and I didn't have that for you, but remember when Rod Rosenstein was supposed to have supposedly worn a wire and to go in to record the president so they could try to impeach him under the 25th Amendment. And he said, "Oh no, I never did that. I absolutely that was just they're being sarcastic. Working only for Hi Crew. Hey Barbara. I mean, and they're saying from the documents that they found at Judicial Watch that he absolutely did say that he was going to go in. He would wear a wire. They would also put a wire on Andrew McCabe, and they would go in and record the president. And why aren't we investigating that? Why isn't Rod Rosenstein? I mean, it's like somebody said the other day, it's treason. You're going to go in, you're going to record the president so you can overthrow the government. Okay, Renee, have a great day. See you tomorrow. I mean, I don't know what else you would call it. If that's true, and if the documents are true, yep, there's Gracie. She came in. And if that's true, why isn't anybody having to pay for it? You want to come up here? You want to say hi? Come here. Come here. She's like, oh, I can't. I just can't. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. They're liars, all of them. Every single one of them. And who wasn't involved? That's the question. Let's just take the whole Democrat Party and everybody that was in the Obama administration. Tell me who wasn't involved. Because it looks like now that Susan Rice, they're making accusations that Susan Rice knew that Steele dossier was not real, that they knew that they were using it for the FISA applications. Everybody knew. Everybody was in on it. It's all too heartbreaking, Carmen said. I know, Gracie. When the left talks, they're lying, their lips are moving. Exactly, Jonathan. Dims Mafia, Rick said. Why are no heads showing the last 2 days or only a few? Why are no heads showing? I don't know, Barbara, what you mean. Do they believe their lies? Janice said, no, Janice, I don't think so. I think that they will lie to get what they want. And they don't care if it's true or not. And they really don't care. And I think we're going to find out that Brennan was mostly at the head of all this. I think this is just my opinion. But I could see a scenario where Obama calls Brennan in and says, what do we do here? What can we do to get rid of this guy? Because he's not going to be good for the country and for our agenda. And they all sat there and worked out how to do it. Bobby heads on Perry. Bobbleheads? I don't know what the bobbleheads are on Periscope. I can see your photo on Periscope. I don't know what the bobbleheads are, though. They hate America, Lori Middick said. Yeah, they do. Obviously. I mean, they want America to be what they want America to be. Power is all they want. That's right. Power and control. That's it. That's it. Well, he is pretty evil. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we're ever going to get to the bottom of it. I don't know if people like Brennan and Clapper and Rosenstein and Comey and McCabe and all those people, if anything's going to happen to them. I don't know. Barbara, you may want to turn off your phone, turn it back on if you can't see other people's profile pictures. Sometimes it's your own phone and it needs an update. So the other thing that came out today, and it came out from Politico, so I don't know that I believe it, but take it for a grain of what it's worth, a grain of salt. Supposedly, according to the Politico, the United States concluded that Israel was behind the cell phone surveillance devices found near the White House and other sensitive locations in D.C., according to 3 former U.S. officials with knowledge. Hey Colleen, whenever I see that with 3 officials with knowledge, then I'm sitting there going, it's probably not true. So cannot think on it much, knowing how deep it is and how blind we were. Yeah, and Barbara, I have to say that I think that what we know right now and what we're learning is only that much of what there is left. I think that this is so deep in so many ways that we will never get to the bottom of it. And maybe most of it, I should say, we may not want to know. We may not want to know about it because I think it's that bad. I honestly do. And I think, God is revealing all of this stuff right now for a reason. It's for a reason in this particular time. And I in my mind, I'm thinking it's because we're getting so far along in the end times. Can everybody see Gracie back there? She's trying to get underneath a blanket and she's pushed it out of the bed. She's trying to get it. I know she is. He's fixing her bed, but she's totally outside of the bed. It's a dark, bottomless pit. Yes, Kim, and I am afraid that it is. And I think, if sometimes people talk about hell and all that. I think there's hell on earth for sure, and I think that's what's in the bottomless pit. Hell may be in another place too, but it's definitely here as well. That's why Trump ran. He knew and could not take it anymore. Yeah. And he knew Barbara more than we did because he'd been working with those people. Michael's back. He'd been working with those people his whole life. He'd seen corruption. He knows what that looks like. So, because we are in the last days, look up, our redemption draws nigh. Absolutely, Colleen. Absolutely. And in some ways, with all of this darkness coming out and being shed, some people are afraid of it. It frustrates me. It ticks me off. I'm not afraid of it because I know where I'm going, but it just makes me angry to know that for now, those people may win, but in the end, we win. Thank you, Gracie, for the smiles you gave me today, Lori said. She could give you some more smiles, I tell you. I should just put a camera on her during the day and let people sit and watch. Of course, she moves around so much, I would have to go around everywhere she went. But anyway, any more questions? Anything that in the last couple of minutes? I just now found you. Incredible, Lynn. Incredible. Well, you'll want to hear the replay, Lynn. I've always wondered who convinced our president to run. I don't think anybody did, Janice. I think 30 years ago he was talking about what he wanted to do with America, and who knows, maybe it was his family, but I think they cannot impeach him because he will lower the hammer, Barbara said. How is best described at outer darkness when he was weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth? That's what it's like to be without the Most High. Absolutely, Jonathan, and that could be right here on earth. I know, Lynn, it's I don't know why you couldn't find me on Facebook. It's hard to see people be so stupid, but it has to be evil abounds. Yeah, Rue. I mean, people who have eyes who cannot see and ears who cannot hear in the last days. We need a breakthrough, Susan. Well, we certainly do. But yeah, it was God ordained, Colleen said. Yes, 30 years ago, he ran on his love for America. Yeah, I mean, we, not sure we're going to get a breakthrough because people aren't praying, they're not turning back, they're not repenting, they're not humbling themselves before God. And it's got to be a lot of people doing that. It really does. And we're having more people. The pastor in Greg Laurie's church who killed himself the other day, committed suicide. Young man, was involved in helping others in mental health, had a beautiful wife, beautiful two boys, two young sons, killed himself. So the leadership, people are in dire straits, in bad times. I'm praying, Danielle said. Hell is best described as outer darkness where there's weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth. That's how it feels like to be separated from the Most High, Jonathan said. Yes. Oh my gosh, I hadn't heard. Yep, Rue. Can't remember the young man's name, but it's Greg Laurie's. He was an assistant pastor there, I think. A lot of false prophets. Absolutely, Colleen. And listen, it's so sad about the pastor. Absolutely. And just because a prophet doesn't have to be a pastor, a prophet doesn't have to be somebody who holds themselves out as a person of, a pastor, a minister, a priest. False prophets can be found in our everyday lives. That's why you have to be so careful about the people that you listen to and that you follow on Periscope, on Twitter, and every place else. If God be for us, who can be against us, Janice said. The Matrix character passport expired on 9/11/01 in the movie. Coincidence? Yeah. Demons jumped ship, Barbara said. Yeah. So, we're seeing a lot of things happen. But anyway, I want to thank you so much for being here today. Please, if you will, share everything, share the show, retweet it, share my article, and I will see you again tomorrow, God willing. Take care. God